We live?
I think we're live. Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Lumastic Live, the show where me and Joshua check in. Usually have a topic, but this week we were just checking in. We didn't have a Lumastic Live last week because I was at the beach surfing, and so basically Joshua and I haven't even gotten to talk to each other for 2 weeks. So we're just gonna like hang out. We have like an interesting show to record here. Yeah, we're going to talk about surfing at the beach. We have a special fun shout out announcement to make. We've got some new members to the team that we also want to shout out and kind of like talk through how that's
Big things.
happening. Yeah, and then we're gonna show everybody the dev site. We pushed our little new UI, new app version of the website, version 3.0, to our development server, and so we're gonna poke around that. But before we do that, Joshua, how are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, it's felt like forever since the last 2 weeks, but and a lot has happened. Last while you were surfing, I was graduating, which was kind of weird. Alexis Ohanian came to talk, or
Whoa, I
virtually
didn't
at
know
least.
that.
Yeah, he virtually, and I loved it. I mean, I'm a fan of him. So all my friends were
Wow.
like, who's this? Who's like, we know Reddit, but like we don't know him, and so like he was hitting all the
Wow.
points. Like he told the story of um kind of like how Reddit started, and like at UVA, and
At the
finding
Waffle
her,
House.
yeah, at the Waffle House. He brought the Waffle House in, talked about like the robot, and also like why he was doing everything for his mom, and like the importance of relationships, which was like a
Wow.
good story. But he posted on his Instagram, so if anyone does want to watch it, he posted it last night. The whole commencement speech is like 13 minutes. Would definitely
That is so
recommend it.
cool. I
Yeah,
didn't real so he was like a virtual commencement speaker for like the entrepreneurship center?
no, for all of graduation. Like every
Oh,
every
really?
single graduation he was in. He couldn't go in person because I think he's in Italy with Serena, because Serena's
Wow.
at a tournament. But I know Alex Zaretta. Did you see Alex Zaretta tweeted at him, and he responded because Alex was like, "Do you think you can, if you're speaking at a commencement speech, do you think you could? Would you be interested in having a dinner with like the UVA entrepreneurs and like helping the community you pretty much helped start it or kickstart, or like that follows in your footsteps?" And so he was
Whoa.
like, "I'm doing it virtual, though this sounds so amazing. Like maybe next year when I'll try to make a trip out to UVA in person."
That is so
So
cool.
yeah, I remember because Alex sent me the tweet, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go retweet this and like it and everything." And then he ended up responding to him, and I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." And a big
Wow.
shout out to Alex for doing that. And like,
Yeah, huge shout
yeah,
out. That's awesome. That's one of those. I was thinking about Alex recently because I was talking to Sarah about the 7 days of rejection thing. Did you ever do that?
is that when you like go out every single day and you try to get like a no?
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, and Alex was the one that introduced me to that concept, so I was thinking about it. But that's so cool. My gosh.
yeah,
I had no idea. I had a couple other friends who graduated, and no one mentioned that. Like,
really. I guess.
yeah.
Wait, who are your friends? I just want to see if there's even more overlap, because like I was friends with Tiffany and then found that out. Like, what is it? Like,
well,
yeah,
to me, it's really just Faith,
Faith.
Chelsea,
Okay.
and yeah, that's like basically it for the people that are still UVA.
I don't know if it was for the only the 2021 ceremony, because he did address us in the speech. So it might
Oh,
have
that
been,
makes sense. It
yeah,
wasn't for
that
last
makes
week. It was
sense.
just for
Yeah.
this week. Yep, that makes total
Okay, that
sense.
makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
But
Well,
yeah,
Joshua, congratulations. That's really fucking cool.
thank you. And I need to hear about surfing, especially because
Oh,
you were kind of
baby.
like, we had conversations about skateboarding and that community, and also you're really excited to go surfing. So I need to hear,
Yes.
well, not only how surfing was, but the beach, and like how it was to kind of like just take some time to
Yeah, yeah,
relax.
yeah. Um, well, the beach in general was really fun. I like it's me, my siblings, and then actually both my parents ended up coming, so it was like a little nuclear family vacay, and it was like just really nice. We all brought instruments, hung out. We went to the beach during the day, came back, made food, went back out in the afternoon, and then fell asleep. Like it's pretty
That's
sweet.
easy.
So my brother and my dad went kite surfing, which is like the Hatteras is like the big destination spot for that. And then me and my sister took our surf lesson on Friday, the first day that we were um, like there the full day. And it was probably like the worst day we could have possibly tried to learn. Like I am trying to. So Hatteras is like right. Outer Banks is that little island where there's Soundside, Oceanside. So we did our surf lesson obviously on the ocean side because that's where the waves are. But the wind is the reason that people go to Hatteras to kiteboard, and it's the reason that like sometimes it fucks up your ability to surf. And so it was a really windy day. There was like a storm offshore. And so like we're dragging our boards like because we're pumped, and our instructor had literally texted me the night before like hey, this might suck. like are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, no, it's like regardless we'll get to learn the basics, right? Even if we just like hang out on the beach and have to learn just the basics and of doing the pop-up and stuff. And he was like, well, all right, like right on. No, he sent me a text. Actually, the text was epic exclamation point. Like and then oh no, Joshua, oh, you're here.
I'm back. I'm gonna switch to hotspot because this is just I need.
No worries.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna need to when I get the Hopkins. I'm gonna need to just hit me up with the best Wi-Fi like in the world. That's what I'm.
We'll get you one of those like plug-in Ethernet things too. So
yeah, exactly. But last thing I heard was that it was like pretty much last thing I heard is you said like the instructor said this might be the worst, and you were like it's good, and there's a storm on the side. So
yeah, exactly. He's like this might be the worst time to do it. So just like do you still want to go? And we were like, yeah, like we could learn the basics, like let's still go, like right on. And he just texted me back, epic exclamation point. And so we went out, we brought our boards, and there's literally like no one on the beach. There's no one in the water, and like that's a very bad sign when like you're trying to surf and no one else is going. Because the waves, what you want for surfing is basically waves that like crest over without like a bunch of chop on the top. Like I don't know if I'm explaining that really well, but that's like usually what you want. Like imagine like Mexico, whatever, like nice green water. They call them green waves because if there's a bunch of chop on the top of the wave, they cast shadow and the wave looks black. Gotcha. But if they don't have that, then the water looks green as it like folds over. It's called green waves. So we did not have those. We had like really choppy, wacko waves that were like crashing into each other. Like they weren't coming in one direction. They were like coming in like two directions and sideways and like all this shit. And so our instructor like he's like, let's go. We put on our wetsuits, like we get in the water, and literally we can't even practice paddling. We can't like stand in the water. We can't like do anything. He literally is like just we like try to swim out past the break so that we can try to catch a wave, which takes forever because there's this big rip current just like throwing you away. And at random points in time, he'd just tell me to jump on the board, and then he'd have me jump on the board, and then not even paddle. Like he just like would push the board to try to get me to like catch a wave so I could like stand up and practice. And it was exhausting. I was only out the first day for like an hour, and my like entire body was just like destroyed. Yes, just sore, destroyed. Like I had no energy. And so that was not a very great day. I still enjoyed it because I like made myself enjoy it, but it was not what I had imagined surfing would be like. But so that was our surf lesson. My sister also did not really enjoy it at all that day. Second day was awesome though. We went to like a better beginner spot that was like about 45 minutes away from where we were staying. And the waves were beautiful. Like as I just described, the like green waves, it was exactly that. And so we had rented 2 boards, and so my entire family just like came to the beach, and we just like all cycled through and just like got to hang out, have fun, and practice. It is great. It's really exhausting. Like I was telling you before, my shoulders, I guess have never done this motion for an extended period of time before. And so like lifting my arm on the drive home, I like trying to hold on to the steering wheel and like drive us home back to Charlottesville. I was like, damn, like this really hurts. But super fun, great time. If you ever get the chance, I recommend it. Because it's just really crazy to think about how this is something that humans have been doing for like over 1,000 years, like, and it takes no tech really, like there is obviously a lot of like tech that goes into surfboards and engineering and stuff, but like you could do this with a plank of wood, right?
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like boogie boards are just like big old blocks of foam that are exactly surfboards, right? They just look square instead of curved off. So super cool. It was a great experience being I've never been like exactly an ocean person. Like I'm afraid of like deep water. That's why I don't really go kite surfing anymore. But this was awesome. Like I felt like in tune with nature in a way. I was like flashing a shaka every 5 seconds to everyone. I was like,
Were
yeah,
you able, like, on the second day to ride like a wave by then?
yeah. I did it on the first day, because
Oh,
the hardest part I have found actually is catching the wave. It is not exactly the stand up part. It is making sure you have enough momentum and really that the wave is producing enough force underneath you, like that you're riding it correctly, that you can stand up. Because the last day there were big waves and our instructor was like, don't go out. But I was like, I think I could do it. And we were at like this place with this pier. It just like looked super cool. It looked very California. So I wanted to try and go out and stuff. And there were other surfers, so it was like real deal. And yeah, I like paddled down this one like big kahuna whatever, and I was like starting to stand up, and I just like completely fell off the back.
oh,
And I was like, damn, like that is because I felt really good as I was doing the pop up. I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna ride this. But then I just like immediately started to slip back, and I was like, damn, this is like it's a lot of balance. It's a lot of like understanding your own body on the board. It's like, yeah, it's the standing up part is not the hardest part. It is the like catching the wave, which I find really interesting and fun. Oh.
I hate my Wi-Fi. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I'm about to
Here
throw
I
my
was,
hand
Joshua,
at
just
this
thinking you were a
computer.
wonderful listener.
I. Oh my God.
No
I'm.
worries, no worries. My
Yeah.
conclusion, Joshua, was just that the hardest part is actually catching the wave, but it was a lot of fun because of that. It's like a lot of balance. So
That's.
we can move on now from the beach.
Yeah.
That was my trip. It's very relaxing. It gave well, actually, I'll keep talking a little because it gave me some clarity too, of like some time to reflect and just like process like all of the changes and decisions we've been making to the business and like my life and like all these things like and this is the I'm going to use this as a transition topic to talk about our intern program, because I had asked all of our interns, Jeffrey, Hannah, and Snigta, to come up with like a personal development question over their 8 weeks of being here, so that we could structure essentially a program that allows them to learn something about themselves while doing work at the company. And so I um well, it really was Chelsea first. Chelsea had come up with her own personal development question to kind of, as a sense of camaraderie, do something all together, which I thought was great. And so the thing that I have been thinking about so often, and so I decided to make that my little personal development question over the course of their internship, is like the "Who am I without Lumastic" question, because basically going to the beach and like going back to doing stuff that I like that is absent of work, made me realize how I don't do that really at all anymore. And that it's probably very unhealthy because it causes me to have this like tight coupling between the success of the outcome that is Lumastic, and like the success of me as a human. and like that is unhealthy and bad. And so yeah, that's the thing that also came out of the beach, was like that's the question that I am thinking about, that I'm gonna write a bunch of blog posts about to
I'm
try to like
excited for
uncover.
that.
Right? It's
I'm really,
interesting.
yeah. That I think that's such an important like concept, because I think especially when you get so passionate about like kind of, especially like one of your first projects and starts like moving along, it's really easy to
Yeah.
forget that, like really, really easy. But it's you kind of interesting that you're having people like do it. Who am I? Arena Labs, actually, the CEO was like, he was talking to another CEO and wanted to like work a bit more on company culture. So
Mm.
he adopted this one thing, is like everyone makes their own user guides. Like when you get a product, you have a user guide with it, or like a guide of like what's this product do. So like make one at an individual level of like how they are as people, and like you can make have
Whoa.
fun with it and be like exactly what you said, like who is Joshua at the end of the day. And so like it might be like I'm like go with the flow, like number two in the what is it, the scale you made me to the quiz you made me take, or something like that, like
Enneagram.
for in Enneagram. Yeah, exactly. And just kind of like go through like all those things, and help people better understand. But he was pretty much, he brought up in a meeting that it's like really important to not forget that aspect
Yeah.
of like the passion project, because like at the end of the day, you should still be yourself, but we're all coming together to like accomplish this cool other mission and like goal at the end of the day. But don't forget like who you are as an individual user, because it is really easy to get like attached to it, especially if you're just like
Exactly.
going all in.
Yeah,
So
and the blog post I'm formulating um to write about this is the line that I've been really liking, is the like you are not your output. Um and I think that that is so important to understand in like entrepreneurship, creator business, right? Like, and for me to like personally come to grips with and understand. And I was talking to one of my mentors yesterday. Um, we were just like catching up, and I was telling him the whole tale of like we went to the edge of raising money and decided it wasn't for us, and then it was like okay, we have to figure out then how we're going to do this differently and kind of do it our own way and actually strike out on our own a little. And I was telling him how a lot of the stress and um, like shame of all of that was like really weighing on me. And then it's like the fear of failure and like blah 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 blah. And I told him about this, like you are not your output thing, and he's like, yeah, and you are also not your outcomes. And I was like, damn, that is powerful.
it's
Like,
bar.
uh, what?
I was just saying it's like bar, like it's not a bar, but like it's when I tend to say that whenever someone drops something deep. I didn't mean to stop this beautiful moment. Continue.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
If I was better, if I was a better musician, writer, whatever, someone should definitely write some slam poetry with that line in there.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So that was the big, like little surf beach trip, and kind of the where I'm personally at in my own like creative journey here. And I don't know, to expand maybe on this a little bit more. It's like I've been so one of our interns, Hannah Hahn, she has a YouTube channel. Sarah, will you link it in the chat? Um, uh, I am like so excited for like her to be on the team, because I see a lot of like where I was like going into my fourth year, like in her, right? Like she's decided like, hey, I've always wanted to like try the YouTube thing, so I'm gonna start making videos. And like that's like exactly what happened to me, just like a different timeline. But and in having meetings with her where we're like kind of like planning out content and like kind of structuring her internship, I have been reflecting on the fact that like I started Lumastic because I was a creator. Like I was our own customer. Like I needed our own tool. Um, and over the past like 2.5 years, I've like made nothing in terms of like videos, like actually putting out my thoughts, ideas in like this medium that I love so much. And I was talking to my mentor Steve about that last night, and um, uh, basically about how like weird and whack that is. And I feel like how a lot of it is because you get wrapped up in the startup-y business um, hustle, like build the thing out. You focus a lot on the stuff that didn't get you into it in the first place, which is kind of like what happened to our product too. Like Keith and I, when we like first came together and we're like, okay, let's do this thing. It was like literally what we're making now that I'm gonna show just like in a few minutes, just like poke around the dev site for everybody. Is like literally that. It's just we went on this wild journey because you get told like move where your users are and like
Yeah.
find market and like do all these things. And I like don't know if I believe all that shenanigans anymore. I think that that might be great if you, well, I do believe it if your goal is to like build $1 billion company, right? I don't know if I believe it if your goal is to build a tool that you need that maybe makes some money, right? Enough to like sustain and support you, whatever, but ultimately helps you do the things that you like to do, right? Like we can talk about how even I've been reflecting on the people, rest of the team, right? Like, I can't even think of like the last woodworking project like Keith got to do, right? Because his time is so sucked. And like, it's just like really weird to think about. It's like
This,
ironic.
yeah, I have so many thoughts going through my head because like I agree with everything, but it's like I don't think I've even come to a conclusion myself of like that's like what do you do in that
Yeah, me neither.
situation?
I'm just like, this is what we're going through. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could not agree more with that feeling, honestly, as well. Like I think it's really weird and a weird balance because especially if you like start a project or like you have some idea of like fixing a problem, then when you go full in on the project, like you said, you get detached from the thing you were like initially really interested in doing.
yeah,
Especially I feel like in creator businesses,
yeah,
especially in creator businesses, because a lot of the people are like initially creators, right? And then they will turn to like software devs or like managers, and
right.
then their time's not spent like doing whatever it was before, like music writing, or at
Yeah,
least
and
less.
like,
It's a cut things cut.
yeah, things, and like, I'm not saying that anyone is beholden to their past self of like things that you said that you liked or whatever, and now you don't do those things anymore. What I'm trying to say is like, I still like love making videos, like it when I get the opportunity, like it consumes me to like a point I love, like that's my flow state, like that's the I will spend 30 hours in a weekend like coming up with our freaking channel trailer because I just love it so much.
Which was
Right?
sick. Which was
Yeah,
sick.
we're just sick.
Link
Everybody go check
link
it
it.
out. Link below. Um, but it's like that type of stuff, which truly is like the reason that like we started Lumastic was, oh, this is a tool that could help us with our stuff. And it's like, well, we've forgotten. I don't know. I'm not going to say we. I feel like I have forgotten that. And like, I want to get back
Mm,
to a place where I feel like I am a creator again. And I think a lot of things over the past like 6 months have just been culminating to the fact that I needed to learn this. I needed to like self reflect and like just own that and like make some sort of change or like I it's like the whole chasing dream situation, right? It's like at some point you just gotta like if you really want it, you gotta do it. Like
yeah.
um Yeah, it's just so interesting. Yeah, I have no conclusion here, so you gotta
I,
take it, Joshua.
Yeah, no, I actually I had an idea because I was talking to Brian. So actually, this is an update. The weekend right before graduation, so like I think it was like 2 days after our last Lumastic Live, Brian came to visit because I invited him over to the house to like officially meet in person. Brian Ferguson's the CEO of Arena Labs, which is a company I've been
Cool.
working with. I did my research in, and so I met him for the first time in person like 2 weeks ago. And so we were like sitting down and talking, and like we ended up talking about just like a lot of stuff in terms of like how you goal set, like creative stuff, and all these different like passions. And he's pretty he when he first came and talked at Ripple, he really takes performance and like his weekly schedules very seriously. Like he has it almost to the T, but also in a very like interesting way. So I was asking him because he said one thing that he goes and talks a lot, and he also is a CEO. So that's like majority of the
Yeah, yeah.
day his field was, or like his days were filled with that. But then he realized like I was losing a lot of like creative juice and creative energy, which was like I guess bumming him out in a similar like sense.
Yeah.
And so what he started to do, and he learned it from a book, and I wish I had the name, but if this might be a good Lumastic Live topic, like just a whole episode.
Cool.
So I'll try to like look for it after this. But starting his mornings and then also blocking out a huge chunk of time, one time in the week. So he starts his morning. So he loves to write. Like
Mm.
he loves to write, and he like saw it in this book that there was a practice like you wake up at your like most pretty much blank state of the day before like stuff really hits you, unless you have like something you're preparing for, and then just like starts writing. But then he
Mm.
also will take a chunk, and like a huge chunk out of his Fridays, like 5 6 hours, just to do something creative and whatever
Wow.
he wants to do. And he said like in his mind before, like it was seen as almost like, it's like you're taking a huge chunk away from like the thing you're mainly doing, which for him is Arena Labs and focusing on this company and giving
Right.
talks about it. But he was like, no, I think I'm going to try this practice. And he from what he says like it felt like it made him way more efficient and like everything
Yeah.
he did. And then would like now he reflects back and said, wow, like I'm more efficient, but I'm also like I have this outlet that I can continue to do. So I feel like that, and I don't think like that process necessarily works for everyone, but that might be a cool thing to try, because I certainly was like thinking through it, because I see myself more as a generalist in some sorts. Like I get
Hmm.
intrigued by a lot of things and do a good job at like being able to start something, learn it quick, but then I like
Yeah.
just love how things come together. And so, but I do love to like create and like not lose sight of that. And so I was had that thought going through my head, but especially as I'm moving to Hopkins, I'm like, once I get a schedule, I'm going to try something of that sorts. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on like that as like a way to build in the time? And also, what were you thinking more when you were kind of having like this? I don't know. Would you call it a dilemma, or is
It's
it
like an
more?
identity crisis. Like it's
Yeah, because
like
it was like I didn't want to use charge terminology, but like
no, no, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I think that's basically what I've been thinking about is how do I well, and I want to read the chat really quick too because this ties in. So Chelsea said, first she said Keith actually is doing woodworking stuff once a month. And I forgot about this. He's building an organ bench with a furniture maker in Locustdale that goes to the
wow,
church that Chelsea plays at. So actually, that's sweet. And I'm like,
wow,
that makes me feel really good. Okay, and then Chelsea said so many thoughts on this. She said, piano is my first love, and I've learned to let it take on different meanings, durations, and frequencies over time. She said, all you need to be a creator is to create. It's when our identity and worth is tied to a title, at least, as she said, at least for me, that it starts to suck. Yes. I think that, yes. Um, sorry, I'm trying to synthesize what I'm trying to say. The all you need to be a creator is to create. Yes, totally agree. And I'm not trying to say that I'm like not like being creative, because like we do a lot of creative. I don't want to diminish the work that we do like as a development team and as a company. Like we're doing really cool shit. I mean more as like a uh like creator in the like businessy terminology of like I make YouTube videos, right? Like cuz that is the thing I really, that is the outlet I really love. And that is the thing that I just like don't really do at all anymore. Um and it's as if like Chelsea, you just like never played piano. And I think that that is my like dilemma of sorts. But I do like this idea of it taking on different meanings, durations, and frequencies over time, because I think that's the thing I need to figure out, is because I basically go in like little sprints. Like I'll make like one or two videos, and then I won't make anything for like 4 months, and then I feel like garbage, and then I'll spend right again like 50 hours like on one video and then go away, when really I need to build time in my life, kind of what you're saying your the CEO at Arena Labs does, where it's just like feels like a consistent outlet, rather than like one-off projects. And like I admire greatly the right, this is the whole work to publish mindset and stuff, is I think I need to think about it less like I'm making art every time, like I'm making like a master work, and more like I get to play in my editor, right? Like I get to write a script, and like it it does, like I need to decouple again the quality of the thing, then being the thing that gives me satisfaction. And it's because really what I'm missing is the fact that I do it at all, right? Regardless of it, if it is good or bad at the end of the day. But I don't know. Am I making any sense? I'm like trying to talk on the fly. Like,
No, no, no. I do. I have a couple like follow-up questions. When you say lose the sense of like creator and like making videos and the thing you make miss, is it more like when you think of that, is it more the same type of videos you were making, or just like the actual process of making a video?
I think it's like literally the actual process, because I was thinking about this, like I could, like I was talking to Sarah and she was like, I'm sure if you like respun up like Curiosity Story, we'd probably come up with a different name, because that was hard branding. But like I'm sure like all my 680 whatever subscribers would be happy. But I couldn't do that. That's like the sprint methodology, right? It's like it took me so long to make those. It's basically a full-time job. It's the fact that
Yeah.
like I want to like sit down, share an idea, edit it together, and export. Like throw in some funny jokes and like maybe do some animation if there's time. But it's the fact that I feel like I am contributing to that body of work that is internet video. That I am a part of that community.
And
Um, yeah.
and you want it like ideally separate from Lumastic.
Yes, ideally, so that it also shows me again that I am not one project. I am not
Yeah.
this company, right? Like I am not the success or failure of Lumastic. Chelsea said that I should vlog, and then we could call it Vlogmastic.
Vlogcast.
Lumas TikTok.
What if
Okay, sorry, not to derail.
I'm curious about this. What if like similar to the sense of like how you were treating the interns, like they're their own individual people. I think I don't know if it's a big tech company, so probably a bad example to use. But Google, they like let their employees, actually no, this isn't a good example because it has to go back to Google. But anyways, they did this project where like any, sorry, I was thinking out loud. I think they 20% of the employees' time can be spent towards another project of whatever they want.
Yeah.
In that sense, it goes back to Google because they pitch it to Google. But what if I wonder, as terms of a workplace dynamic and also like developing culture and also spreading ideas, if you had like that product,
Love that.
you as like also as CEO, like to keep
Oh, Joshua, you're
separate
cutting
from
in and
that, and
out.
that way you can like week.
Ooh. But I think I get the gist of what you're saying, right?
Okay, am I good?
I assume you were saying like the 20% time thing that Google does. We could do that as like a company culture of go rather than this like work like exceptionally amount of hours like to try to build this thing out. Like let's also make a focus on
You
you getting to like make stuff in the medium that you enjoy, um and that's like just a company
or do
practice.
stuff like, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it would be, and it would be really cool to just be like, I love, skateboarding. So this week, like I was thinking of like different places, like just certain things that like keep identity, which I think is so important to make people just the best themselves, which like weirdly from a company perspective, like it definitely would help the company because when people have their own self-confidence, like they and like know who they are and they do better. But what's most
Mhm.
important is that they're good at the individual level and they're at like a place that supports it. And I think weird, funny enough, it would also like maybe support this dilemma you're having in terms of like
Yeah.
how do I separate it, and it also like leaves the space to be like, hey, this is a Lumastic thing, or this is in my work, and so I'm gonna go spend, like, think of yourself as like your boss, but also you're listening to yourself in the sense that
Yeah.
I get this 20% to myself to just create, and so I'm gonna take advantage of it and um just do whatever I want to do or explore and kind of like check up at the end of the week to kind of like make it fun or make it like established in the culture, like you can try things you want to do, use outlets, like make sure everyone's.
Yeah, go learn stuff. Like, and I feel like that's really, I think everyone vibes with that. It's then the implementation of that, right? It's the
Yeah,
actually believing that it's worth, like you are worth spending that time doing that, right? Because that's like my big dilemma is like, um, and that's why I'm also trying to figure out like how do I make it as easy as possible if I wanted to do it every week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is to like just sit down and make something so that it's not like big overhead. Um, the thing Chelsea was saying about vlogging, the I have been thinking like if I was gonna choose a medium, right? Like a way of formulating making videos, I like the Vlog Brothers are like obviously a huge inspiration to me just in life in general, but like their content is literally like they read a 657 word essay every week, right? That's like what they do, and then they chop it up and edit it together, right? Like, and at first glance, that seems like a low barrier to entry. And it's just going to be getting in the habit and practice to like again make it as simple as possible so that I just feel like I get to make something, you know. And that something is out there that I'm contributing again to that ecosystem, that community, in some way. But yeah, I think
I,
also the idea of, hey, as a we're going to say as a company practice, this is like worth it for everyone's life. If we say like you block off 5 hours, whatever, in the week and just like make something, right? Like it's like your time, just like do it for you. Um, I also don't know if that needs to necessarily be a company practice, more a just like because it can be different for everybody, right? So like the idea of
yeah,
take 20% of your time and like do this thing. Like some people might not want to do that, right? Like
yeah,
Chelsea's really good at, although I'm sure she would feel like she's overscheduled, she can put it in the chat, whatever. But I am amazed by how many things that she does, um, and has kind of like I mean, she's like exceptionally skilled in like all these things, and so her like outlet of playing the piano for other people like pays her, all right. It gives a forcing function that she has to like continue to practice this art that she loves so much. Like, yeah, and so I'm just trying to figure out some way that I can take that sort of inspiration and package it in my own life in a way that works for me and keeps me like sane, grounded, and exactly like you're saying, like helps with the decoupling of I am the success or failure of this one thing, and like I am just a human that makes stuff. I have my own hopes, dreams, joys, and values, and like I am separate from the things that um happen around me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think the model kind of you just said with Chelsea, like she has kind of a means like the passion she does like pays her, and it leads to also like more creativity, and made me think of my friend Parsa who picked up photography. And so
Yeah,
around grad weekend, I was helping him get a bunch of clients, and he was like getting paid quite a bit for photography. And what he ended up doing, which he loved, is he took the money he made from grad weekend and went and traveled to do more photography that was just for himself, like the
that's so
stuff
cool.
he wanted to do just for himself. And it kind of like it was a kind of like a cool loop. Like he went to California, he got a rented a car and just went to like all the places he wanted to go to.
That's
And
awesome.
it actually led to really cool. I have to shout him out. He posted a couple on Unsplash because he wanted to just like get his art out. And one got like featured on the main page within the first 24 hours of him creating the account. And
What?
it got like 4 million like views and like a
What?
100,000 downloads. It was like insane. Yeah, his account's Parsa M Photography on Instagram. If anyone wants to check him out, I'm a big supporter. This has been friends with this man for like 8 years now. But yeah, would just definitely. Anyways, it's a cool example. Like I applaud what he did. He's about to start medical school, so he's not gonna have
So
too much
cool.
time. But he's a great guy who just like, and I think it was so cool. And I've talked to him about it. Like, how did you keep that like creative thing going while you were in such a hell period trying to get into med school? And he does a really good job of balancing the two.
Hang on. So is it parser underscore?
Parsa Parsa M Photography. P. I'm
I
a
see it.
big this guy, this handsome dude.
Here, I'm gonna put it on the stream. There it is.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I know. This is all he just wanted to go.
What the fuck?
This was at the beach when we went to for, you know how I told you
Wow,
like when we
yeah.
were he was trying to get like astral photography, like all these different shots. And so yeah,
Wow.
it's just like,
Damn.
and
Yeah,
he
he's super
got his,
talented.
yeah, those
Grad
are his
photos.
grad photos of some friends I got clients for him for. I think that's also, what date is this? Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
That one's,
Damn.
yeah.
Shout out parser and photography. Look at this. That's a doggo. Um,
Doggo. I think my dog's featured on his.
really
I
where
might be. Wait, oh, there. That was my dog as a puppy. That German Shepherd.
That's a cutie. That's a cutie right there.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
85 pounds now, so big deal.
Well, Parser, thank you for providing your creative work so that we could shout it out on the stream. Um, Speaking of shout outs, again, I'm rocking it with the transitions today. Huge shout out to Chelsea and Keith, who
Let's
two weeks
go.
ago we didn't have a stream that week, but they tied the knot, got married, went to a courthouse, and just like, you know, uh, combined their lives in the ceremony of holy matrimony. So, just huge shout out. We love them both so much. Would not be here at all without them. And so just wanted to on stream say how like happy we are for them. Um,
We need like champagne bottle sound effects,
exactly.
like
We need to like,
confetti.
emojis on screen, like all
Yeah,
that stuff.
exactly.
All right. Well, before Chelsea gets too embarrassed, we can transition to our last thing that I want to just like quickly run through, and it's the fact that we pushed our new version 3.0 to our development server. So that's the one at dev.lumastic.com. That if you want to go peruse, you can. It's a completely separate database. It's just like a little testing server, but it's so freaking fun. I'm trying to rush us through our little test plan period so that we can push it to production and I could start to use it all the fucking time. Because look, it's amazing. So welcome everyone. I'm sure, Joshua, this is probably very small on your screen.
Yeah.
So I'll zoom it in a little.
Perfect.
Yeah, but here it is. So this is new and improved Lumastic 3.0. So like, I think, Joshua, you've seen this before, but we've got the desk set up, the captures feature, works. So I could jot down a quick note, save that away. Oh, I pressed command, but we're on a Windows computer. Boom. I have all my little quick captures there, all my active sparks here. I can see the stuff that people have been posting about. So Keith 2021 03 28 posted something, right? Because again, this is just our little development database, but everything works. It's so fun.
So cool.
When you go inside of the project, you can see there are a lot of people that are listed as collaborators on this one, but yeah, you can see just the post for that project. We can go see. Again, this is older version of boards. This is our next development sprint. We're calling Project Bacon. Is about revamping this whole system with the new text editor and everything. But yeah, it's just it's so clean. It works so nicely. I'm just so proud of everyone for making this happen in such a short period of time. Realistically, we did this in 7 weeks. I want to show you so you can change to dark theme. You can then change your color so that you can customize it to really be yours. It just it
Can't
feels,
wait to use this.
it feels so good. I'm just so pumped about it, and literally coming for you, Apple Notes. This is
I think you came for them. I think you
this is gonna be so fun. Our little search feature where you can just quickly go. So if I type in your name, Joshua, there you are. Yeah, it's so fun. I'm proud of everybody. I just want to show it off a little, show we're on our way, we're doing it, and it just feels really good. So that's my little check-in. I'm obviously, once we push to production and stuff, I'm gonna start making little tutorial videos to kind of explain each feature and help people navigate and stuff. But yeah, it's really fun and exciting, and I'm excited for everybody to use it. We just have to get through our little test plan and clicking around so that we can push to production.
That's awesome. I can't wait to use this for Ripple. I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's gonna be sweet.
That should be a soundbite.
Yeah.
Can we edit it so it's just you doing sweet?
I've been watching a lot of Curtis Connor, and he opens what it was all right, folks. That's what I've been thinking about. All right, I had to reopen the chat. You go, Joshua.
No, it was I said I love how he does the extra greeting to his subscribers, but then the one time he didn't, he got blasted.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
He had 20,000 people unsubscribe. Just I'm sure it was just as a joke, but it's just so funny that his subscribers are just that passionate.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah, he's just a good quality human. The commentary scene on YouTube, chef's kiss quality. Cool. Joshua, we've run through all of the things I think I've got. Do you have anything Anything to ask? Any new updates? Like, what's going on?
Updates. I guess I do. I actually do have something to ask. So, Drew, this is more one-on-one, but I think it'd make for a good live. But when you went about making your kind of like consulting business and the
Yeah.
LLC, what was it? It was like Drew
Lido Media.
Lido Media. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that process like and tips? Because I've been recently thinking for Arena Labs and like I've been doing like a lot of work here and there. And I was thinking like long term. I remember even talking to Danya about this, but like we were both intrigued by like the health space, and I was like, yeah, long
Yeah.
term it would be so cool to have like a design firm. And I always like treated it as like such a far away thing. But
Yeah.
then the other day when Arena Labs like was asking me like, can you do hop on these two projects? Like, and I was doing like all these things for them and also helped a professor out with like designing something. I was like, I can start this now. Like I can really
Yeah.
just pop up a website. And so I've been kind of literally these past 2 weeks thinking about it as like the semester's ending and I'm like kind of looking forward into my career and going to like Hopkins and stuff like that. And I was
Yeah.
just I'm intrigued, but also like with Ripple and all the other stuff, I'm like kind of at this similar identity crisis of like which one do I go
Yeah.
through? And so I just wanted to kind of get your initial thoughts before I actually have to hop on the Arena Labs meeting. But yeah, that it might have to continue into another Lumastic Live. But thoughts, tips, advice.
Yes, we'll do a preview of our next episode, everyone, which will be on identity crises. um, but yeah, I'd
Honestly,
say,
it might have to be.
yeah, no, I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
So is really because like you're a smart guy, you've like read all the entrepreneurship things, whatever. Like, is your question more should you, or is it like how would you?
I think should is already like I'm already doing it. It's just putting a
Okay,
label on it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So like I think that's done. But it's more about like how I guess how you go about navigate this again, this is gonna be the identity crisis. Like how you go about doing it, like when you know certain things or like pretty much how you distribute your time between things because Ripple's still something that like we're very like into and then the
hmm
Hopkins program and Lumastic and all these things.
the
So it's
the
more
beauty,
just
Joshua, is I feel like if that's something you want to do, you already have like a great starting point. Like, this is the reason that I was like quote unquote successful with like Lytle Media in the beginning, is because really it was I was the marketing and webmaster for my uncle's company, and I did a really good job there. And so then I just like started I just like started an LLC and was like, cool, I'll do it for the on the side. And then my uncle referred me to people who were impressed by the work I had done at his company, and then I just did that stuff for them, right? And so
gotcha. Yeah.
it starts with you've already done the great thing of like you have first client, right? You have first proof of concept of people that will vouch and then can potentially refer, like because that's like I don't know what all the guru YouTuber people about consulting talk about, but that is the strategy that has worked for me. And so that's the only one I can speak to. But it was very then easy. Like that, because then you're just saying, like, hey, I'm also looking for more work, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. And then people who like you and like the work you do just like start supporting you in that aspect. And so for you, I don't think it's so much like a you've already done that part right. In terms of like the distributing your time, I think now it's just um, you saying that like, hey, I'm not just working at Arena Labs. I'm gonna do this as like a consulting thing, and then you just start to expand as time allots. Like as you want to do more, take on more projects, whatever. Now you just have like a name for the thing that you've already been doing, and you have an invoicing software. Like
Yeah.
that's really the only change. And so then it makes it, I hope that maybe that makes it seem more freeing and easier to kind of transition and start doing that, because you're already doing it. It's just you're going to call it something different. But in terms of the actual tactile amount of
Yeah.
time, it doesn't have to change if you don't want it to, and it can change if you want it to, but it doesn't have to change dramatically just because now you're saying like I am now doing like medical design consulting, right?
Yeah, that's very true. And I think that that helps because I never actually got this idea out to people. I was just been like sitting in my head for
Yeah.
the past couple weeks. And yeah, like I was literally sitting there and it was like, because I was going through and I was explaining to a friend like the stuff I was catching up with a friend and explaining everything I did the last year. And I was like, wait, if I had just like detached myself and just called it consult, like that's what it would have been. Like it could be
Yeah.
like the beginning of, um, yeah. So cool.
Get a little
That's
Squarespace
my
site,
update.
throw your portfolio up there, like be sweet.
Yeah.
And you know, Joshua, like I know some great freelance project management software.
Yeah. I've used it for
um,
everything, man.
that'd be sweet. I think Chelsea's in support. She put hearts in the chat and said, um, uh, design firm 0.0. Yeah. Well, Joshua,
0.0.
I'm excited for now our next episode where we can delve into this further because I think it's something that I feel a lot of like creative professionals don't talk about. Right? We talk about burnout a lot, but we don't talk about like the roots, right? And how we like maybe even prevent these things before they become big old crises in our lives. So I'm excited to see what we can uncover and excavate next week. But thanks for being here. Thanks for getting back in the saddle with me and like
It was a great episode.
after our little week long break. And thank you to everybody who came to the stream, was in the chat. Chelsea, just right here at the end, said, happy to talk about rates and the consulting experience, at least at Design by V. Yeah, that's huge. Like, she literally works with a
I'm definitely
bunch
gonna
of
hit you up, Chelsea.
yeah, cool. Well, Joshua, with that, have a great weekend.
You too.
You know, and
I'll
yeah,
be
everyone we
signing in from Baltimore next week. I'll be signing in from
wow.
Baltimore next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I gotta get that
We'll see.
Ethernet cable.
We'll see that new background. That new background.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. All
Awesome.
right. Bye everybody.
See ya.
Nice.
Cool.